Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Cultured Podcast. I am your host, Janky Shenanigans, and I am joined by one of my usual co-hosts, SFE and Noah, who's currently hiding
Yo,
as Catboy Sora.
I'm Catboy Sora.
Unfortunately, our other usual co-host, Joel Bone, could not make it today, sadly. And so he is currently being replaced by Hyrule Castle, who is an equally stoic and interesting host.
Yes.
Then we, of course,
And
have our usual host, Pop Culture Kitten. Scratches for the kitten.
Jank, you're outnumbered by cats today.
There are two. There are two cats. I think I can handle it. Every time I go to my sister's, I am outnumbered by cats in that case. But I handle it there. I can handle it today. Anyway, hello everyone. We're having a two-man podcast because
Two
that,
Man Podcast.
yes, that is what it's about today. And
For
it's
the
Noah
two
and I,
man.
which is interesting
Yeah.
because Noah likes to interrupt my sentences and I like to
I'm
interrupt his.
sorry.
So we'll see how this goes.
Right.
All right. So anyway, let's get right to it without further ado.
Yeah.
What is going on in the world of news? Well,
Well,
would you like to go ahead for the first one there, friend?
sure, yeah. So, not exactly breaking news, but still relatively new. The D23 conference, that happened this past, I need to pull up my calendar. It happened, February 8th through 10th. D23 conference in Tokyo, Japan, released new Kingdom Hearts footage. Still no official, like, hard set release date, but they did say the release date will be announced at E3 this year, and I'm devastated that I can't go. But at the D23 conference, they released two trailers, one of which featuring the heavily disputed leak from earlier in December. Monsters Inc. World is confirmed, as made evident by my picture for the day. Yeah, so Monsters Inc. World store is going to have this adorable little cat boy transformation. Uh, Vanitas was confirmed to return, as is Marluxia. That's the breaking news for that. The other breaking news for Kingdom second trailer was that Utada Hikaru released her Kingdom Hearts 3 theme song. I have not listened to it because I don't want to listen to it until I pop that disc into my PlayStation 3 and experience it with the Kingdom Hearts 3 rendition of Dearly Beloved. Uh, so I'm not going to listen to that trailer, but I've seen a snippet at the end of new footage revealing Mickey and Riku's Kingdom Hearts 3 outfits, and Riku busted his way to Dawn Keyblade and left it in the dirt, saying the other me could use it. No one knows what that means. But then Square Enix turned around and released high-res images from the trailers of the different characters, including Riku with a severely edgelordy car key looking keyblade. It legitimately looks straight up like a car key.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so that's in immediately all the brand new Kingdom Hearts 3 news. No news on whether that other leak about the worlds list was confirmed or denied. However, Monsters Inc. wasn't on that list, but I'm still hard pressed to think that they're frozen. They just probably wanted to save it for a bigger event.
Got
But
you.
yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 3, it's coming out. It's almost done. It's pretty much done. It's on its way.
No, it's not. It's really
Shut
not.
up. Shut up. I will
There's
fight you. I will cancel my Hunchback rehearsals and abandon a Romeo and Juliet rehearsal. Come to Canton and have words with you, sir.
Let me see. It was supposed to release in March. Then
It was never
got
said to
pushed back.
release in March. I believed that it would be released in March.
Now they're saying they'll announce at E3, which is halfway through the year in July. 3, which is halfway through the year in July. Now they're saying they'll announce at E3, which is halfway through the year in July. Now they're saying they'll announce at E3, which is halfway through the year in July.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be a end of year release, the holiday season. It was never announced to come out in March. I just heavily believed that it was going to be March because of the symbology of one of the calendars
You know what
in one of the
they're
trailers.
you know what you know what they're going to announce at E3?
A release date for the release date.
Yes. They're going to be like, there is still so much we want to add to make this game perfect for you guys. We are delaying the release we haven't even announced yet. It will come out in 2019.
Okay, but here's the thing. That would be really shitty. But anyways, what I expect from the E3 trailer, just kind of talking about my hopes and aspirations for that, is finally some Big Hero 6 footage, because that's one of the confirmed worlds. We just haven't seen any footage yet. So I'd like to see some Big Hero 6 footage, and if they're Frozen, I'd like to see some Frozen footage. So, but that's just me.
They have Tangled. They don't need Frozen. I saw that there was a Tangled world in that footage.
There is a Tangled world. That was always confirmed, but we saw more of it, and we finally got to see Rapunzel and Flynn. Oh, and one of the other things, they had a making of featurette that was exclusive and put it out online. Um, but there's going to be background NPCs in Kingdom Hearts, other than the 8 that were in Traverse Town and then never again.
Oh, okay, okay.
Actual background NPCs in Kingdom Hearts 3, and it makes me so hyped. The whole community is hype for background NPCs.
That is a very, very small thing to be hype over.
But we get you're talking to the Kingdom Hearts fandom. We get hype
What?
over the littlest shit all the time. We
All
get
right.
hype over costume changes and key chain meanings, and don't even get me started on why there's a Mickey Mouse keychain on Riku's new Keyblade, car keyblade. But anyways, yeah, so that's the Kingdom Hearts news.
Great. They released a new trailer.
Yeah, two new
It is pretty
trailers.
cool. I do like. I saw both of them, and They do both look pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
that'll be a really awesome game when it comes out in 2019.
Speaking of vaporware,
Yes. Speaking
uh,
of vaporware, what is the was the ad to that statement?
the so Kotaku uh released an article, and every article that I've read just refers being the one that broke the story. But even then, their article starts out super sketch saying, according to multiple sources familiar with the project, Activision is currently working on a Spyro the Dragon trailer,
Right?
which will
That's what
be
I was saying
announced
the
in
other
March
day.
and released in Q3 2018.
See, that's exactly what I was saying the other day. Like, always be wary of sources on the internet, guys. Like, anytime you look up any kind of story, because we were talking about this Spyro thing yesterday, and
Yeah,
Joe and I think Noah, I think you were hype about it, but I was just like, look,
I was
guys,
hype about it.
I
Yeah,
read the Kotaku article. Literally, all they said was several sources say, and Joe's like,
yeah.
but they're secret sources. That's why it's a leak. And I'm like, no, 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 no,
Well,
no.
that's
You
true. No, I would back that to an extent. To an extent, I would back that up because, you know, if the information hasn't come out yet, then yes, it would be a leak, and they can't say, "Oh, well, Joe X from Activision released this information because Joe X job."
Here's the thing though. Okay, whenever you have this kind of thing on the, because it's more than this, right? It's like Kotaku is someone. Well, I don't know how many people read Kotaku, but I've imagine that Kotaku is a source of news for people in the community. And so
Hmm.
that's just like bad journalism. If you're just like several sources say that's like just grinding things up in the rumor mill. And I mean, yeah, some of it might turn out to be true. When come March, Activision might totally announce a Spyro remake because the Crash Bandicoot remake went over really well. But I'm just saying, like, there are lots of things that have been reported on Kotaku or Polygon or other places that have been nothing, you know, but they report them as if they are something and they're like, ooh, several sources say. I'm just like, no. Either wait until they actually announce it and it's a solid thing, or just like don't report on it. Don't just make up stories because you don't have enough news. This is actually okay. I'm gonna go on a side tangent here just real fast. This is something that's true of like a lot of online journalism, right? It's like to stay relevant, you have to publish a whole bunch of articles. And it gets to the point where they are more interested in getting an article to publish than they are about actually fact checking and making sure everything about that article is correct and interesting for the person trying to read it. And so it gets to the point where they want to report on a whole bunch of stuff that's just like it's nothing because they want to get that article out there. Which I don't know. That's just a thing for me cuz I get emails all the time, like emails from people just like, "Oh, we're releasing this game," or "Oh, we're doing this thing." And then I don't do anything with it, but then I see some article pop up on Polygon or Kotaku or wherever where it's literally like they just copy pasted the email. And I'm just like, "You didn't even like research it or try or like talk to the developer or anything. You just like copy pasted a whole bunch of crap." Anyway,
Yeah, and I agree with that because, like I said, the article starts super sketch, saying just several sources, whatever. But also like with the Kingdom Hearts 3 thing, like IGN was the first official news source that actually broke the article. But they had, but in like, because like I was up until 3 a.m. waiting for that information to drop. I was watching one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts YouTubers live streaming the event, trying to get any sort of information because they didn't live stream the actual event. Um, but basically, so supposedly IGN broke the article, but then like 20 minutes later they took it down and it didn't come back up until later the next day. Um,
well, sure, but that's not like a it's not well researched. That's more like
yeah, that was
there
waiting for
was an
like an embargo
embargo.
to pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
because
So so
I actually did that once. I accidentally put something up before the embargo was lifted on it. I was like,
yeah.
oops.
So it could be legit. There could just be an embargo. Maybe they're allowed to say, there's a Spyro thing in the works, but I can't say anything other than that. But who knows?
Yeah,
I'm
but
optimistic either way.
I'm cool with it as long as they don't use the Skylander design for Spyro. I do
Oh, hope
not
to
like the
God not.
Skylander design for Spyro at all. Like,
No.
give me, give me, um,
Liberty or give me death.
okay, sure. But I was gonna say, give me the design that they used for the trilogy that Elijah Wood did.
Oh yeah. That would be nice. But
Those were
in
really
in the
nice
Unreal
character
4 engine.
designs. Yes, but in the Unreal 4 engine. Those games look nice, man. That
They
trilogy they
do.
did, the like
It was a
reboot
nice
trilogy,
trilogy. It was clean, it was sharp.
the only thing that I didn't care for was the fact that most of it was just a hallway. Most of it was just like walking hallways between open-ish spaces, but you were always like pushed forward. There wasn't like an open sense like there is in the original Spyro trilogy. But if they do a remaster, then they'll probably just bring back the old Spyro games. Spyro Ripto's Rage, Spyro Year of the Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, that's what the whole Kotaku article says.
Right.
Master
I
would
mean,
be
it's what they did with
Spyro 1,
Crash,
2,
so
and
it makes
3.
sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Although I
those
was kind of disappointed they didn't include Wrath of Crash trilogy.
Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah, it was like the last in the legit Crash Bandicoot games that functioned like a
Um,
Crash Bandicoot game.
um,
And we're not even going to talk about the Xbox travesty.
didn't was Naughty Dog actually in on the Wrath of Cortex?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Then maybe it was a good game.
it was a good game.
Oh, anyway.
Can confirm it was a good game. I played the game.
But I did also see that they mentioned something about potentially adding cut content, which is something
Yeah,
that I think they said they would do for Crash too, but I don't think they
which
actually did.
no, they
So,
did. They did one of the cut levels from the original Crash.
Oh,
It's damn near
okay.
impossible. You can watch it on Achievement Hunter. Michael tries to do it, and he's just raging the entire time, and it is glorious
Of course it's
and
almost
awful.
impossible. Question. Did you ever play in Crash Bandicoot Warped? First of all, did you play Crash Bandicoot Warped?
I've played all the Crash games,
Okay.
yes. I've
Uh,
played Crash Warped.
in Crash Bandicoot Warped, did you play either the gem levels or the five hidden bonus levels for getting the relics?
I didn't get the 5 bonus levels for the relics, but I played a couple of the gem levels.
Yeah,
Once I finally learned how to gem level.
I have beaten them all, and they are all grueling. They are
Mm-hmm.
all so grueling.
Awful.
And I imagine that that's what like the cut content from the first game is. But that's also why I always had to laugh, right? And I know we've talked about this before and laughed about it before, but like people who are just like it these
It's
these new
Dark
games are so
Souls.
hard. And yeah, like there's the hitbox change on Crash, which makes some of the stuff that you have to do hard because it was just
Yeah.
easier to balance on basically nothing in the original. But I mean, remember the gem levels, guys. Remember how terrible those were.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Those gem levels. Anyways, do you want to spearhead the next article here?
um, yeah, we probably I don't know how much time we'll spend on it, but we can go ahead and talk about it. So apparently, in Hawaii, a while back, they were talking about legislation regarding loot boxes, and then it kind of went quiet for a while. But recently, it came back to light because they passed legislation that counts all loot boxes as gambling in the state of Hawaii.
Yep.
So basically, what that boils down to is that since loot boxes are gambling now, you cannot buy loot boxes until you're over 21. And also, you have to disclose basically the odds of winning anything in a loot box. Generally speaking, I think it's all like good stuff. There's nothing there that seems real bad, unless of course you are a game with loot boxes. We were talking about
Yeah.
it last night, and I think that
Yeah.
it's sort of like some of the games that are out now that seem to revolve mostly around loot boxes. Um, those
Battlefront.
games will suffer, but also the base game is kind of crappy anyway. So it's sort of like
Oh.
no, it did end up passing in Hawaii. There are a
Yeah.
couple other states that are looking at it. I know Washington was another one that was looking at it. Um, but in Hawaii, they recently passed it. So it's kind of a thing like we were talking about last night because what would someone like Blizzard do, you know?
Hmm.
Because we were talking about Overwatch, and generally we agree between Noah and Joe and I that Overwatch loot boxes aren't,
Necessary.
yeah, because they're cosmetics, as opposed to
Hmm.
something like Battlefront,
Battlefront.
where the loot boxes give you a distinct advantage over the other players. So with
Legit.
something like Overwatch, it's hard to say what Blizzard will do in that situation. I imagine because the 21 age limit applies to buying loot boxes, they'll still have the loot boxes in the game. It'll probably just be a thing where um, they'll just have to check your Blizz account to make sure that you are actually of appropriate age before you buy the loot boxes. But
Yeah.
as far as games like Battlefront and I don't know if anyone still plays Shadow of War. Do people still play Shadow of War?
I think some people still do. You
But
always have to assume some people do that will still play it.
fair enough. But I definitely think with those games, they will not
The
benefit in Hawaii from this.
But the sucky part we were discussing last night is that these games that do have loot boxes, like Overwatch, where they're not necessary and they're just purely cosmetic, those games are now going to be branded AO in Hawaii. They're going to be, which in theory kind of sucks, but
I mean, that's
that's
true,
just the way
but
of it.
but I will also point out this, which is how many people do you know? How many of your other friends who play video games do you know played rated M games before they were 18?
Well,
I
yeah,
can I can say all sorts of people that I know have played Resident Evil whenever they were like 10. All of
yeah,
them,
but
all of the Resident
but
Evil games.
but I'm coming from the perspective where I live, not necessarily a sheltered life, but I lived a very protected life. So my parents didn't even let me get my first rated teen game till I was like 14. Like legitimately, but it was still it was I had to beg for the Mummy Returns the video game. I
You got
never
the
bought
Mummy
any of the
Returns video game?
yeah. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. We're not here to talk about the Mummy. But Benny, and anyways, I never had a rated M game like GTA in years, and that was because I set out and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go buy this game because it looks like fun. It looks like it would be fun with friends, and then I bought it on PlayStation, and no one had it on PlayStation, and we got it on PC, and now we're the Gust Bunners.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I never had like I never had that quote unquote freedom of being, can you buy this game for me, and my parents not caring whether it was rated M or not.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
anyone
that's
that
true for
is
some.
coming from that lifestyle, the kids in Hawaii that are living that lifestyle are, they're going to try to get Overwatch, and their parents are going to be like, no, why is
There's
it rated AO? Oh, well, there's a loot box system. Oh, well, but I mean, even then, it
there's one other
is.
generalization I
But
would like to make, which is, and again, this is a generalization. Feel free to disagree with me, but
I disagree with you.
I don't really mind if people under the age of 21 have trouble playing Overwatch.
That, yeah,
Because I'm
I
going to
mean,
be honest, most of the people I walk into who are just the worst in Overwatch, I listen to like their chat and I like look at what they're typing and I'm just like you got to be like 12, 13, 14, like man, I know that you're struggling with teenage stuff, but like find that maturity deep inside you because you're going to need it eventually in life and you might as well start here. Start here
yeah.
in Overwatch and spread out into the rest of your life. But yeah, no, CS:GO too. Like I've never played CS:GO. I don't know, Noah. Do you ever play Counter Strike?
No, I never played Counter Strike,
Yeah, but I
but
do know that that was a big thing with the loot boxes too, especially with that reselling thing that was going on and that gambling site that got shut down a while back. Yeah,
yeah.
that was also definitely something that the lawmakers were looking at whenever they were coming up with this law.
Well, well, but then here's the thing, because I also remember, there were like, I can't remember, but it was like Caesar's Palace made a video game where it was like you were playing basically casino games on like Game Boy. I remember having it on Game Boy, or my mom had played it on occasion, which is how I learned to play blackjack at the tender age of 8. But
Go on.
yeah. So, but no, like, so any video games like would a game like that be also banned by Hawaii's laws? Like, I mean, or however it would
Like a
play
game
out,
with
or
blackjack?
like if a game had like any sort of gambling in it, like
No, I'm sure
if
because that's
like if there
that's
was a Pirate of the
virtual
Caribbean,
gambling, right? You're not actually dealing with
yeah,
real money. The primary concern with the loot boxes is its actual
is
money.
in money, yeah. Okay, fair enough. But no, going back, someone in the chat posted, yeah, technically it's not, you don't have to be 21 to gamble. You have to be 18 before you can gamble. I know because I play bingo on occasion and I couldn't go with her until I turned 18.
But most casinos in
Hey,
Vegas
she
won't
is
let
my
you.
bingo buddy and she is
Okay,
slow.
all right, calm down. But
Anyways,
most casinos in Vegas won't let you in until you're 21. They won't let you onto the
yes,
casino floor. Now
that's
that
more or less to do with the alcoholic environment that is also in those casinos, like the bar and everything.
Yeah, let's be honest. Vegas casinos are made to keep you gambling. They will give
Yeah.
you cheap drinks. There are no clocks in any casino, so you never know what time it is. So you never know how long
Yeah.
you've been sitting there. And they make it real easy to just push that button again. Like
And
they
again.
they
And again.
encourage you to engage in terrible behavior because I mean that's how Vegas casinos work. But
Yeah.
they got some great shows, and that's
Got
what's
some
good
good
stuff.
shows. But yeah, so gambling, loot boxes. Like yeah, and I agree with the person in chat. I kind of hate when the federal government comes in and messes with like my, the things I'm interested in or do. But
Sure.
at the same time, like loot boxes have kind of gotten out of hand.
Here's the
Did they
thing.
need federal regulation? Not so much, because we the consumer pretty much shut down EA for like a hot minute because their stocks went spiraling out of control when the whole loot box thing happened, and then they took them out. So I feel like
And now
there's
they're putting
there's a
them back in.
balance between that's true, but I feel like there's a balance between what the consumer can do versus what the federal government. No.
Well, here's the primary thing, which is the government wouldn't have screwed with it had a whole bunch of companies not been like, "Ooh, let's do loot boxes." Like if it hadn't been for like the CS:GO thing and then like all the hubbub about Battlefront and like all these if it hadn't been for like all these situations that involve loot boxes, then no one in the government would have cared. But
Yeah.
because so many of these companies, and honestly, I think that CS:GO was a major factor here, to be honest, because those you have two YouTubers whose audience is primarily teenagers encouraging them to gamble skins on the CS:GO site with real money. And that's really what started catching the lawmakers' eye. Because if anything affects like a minor, they're interested. They're like, what? You're encouraging them to just like give you money and they might get something out of it? No. Shutting that down. And because
Yeah.
the loot box thing kept going, like that's anyway.
Yeah. Or, an easy way that Blizzard could, combat the loot boxes is, and this would, lose the idea of the loot box, is if they just had like an in-game store that had all the different skins, sprays, and whatever, and
Sure.
when you
I'm gonna
from
be
any,
honest.
you get an amount of gold per every time you get a gold level in the game or something to that effect. And if more games did that instead of this loot box idea,
Mhm.
like if Battlefront did that instead of the loot box, I think that would be better. Like the crafting thing is still stupid AF, but
Yeah, sure.
like if there was a way to buy in game with in game currency, not real currency, everything that you needed in the game, that would be fine.
Right. Um, yeah, I think that stores are better. I like it better whenever there's a store in the game that I could just be like, okay, I just want that thing. I'll take it. Walking away now.
Yeah.
That's why I like Heroes of the Storm, right? Because you can buy like the individual skins and heroes if you want, and now they also have the loot box system, which kind of feels unnecessary because they have the store. But
Hmm.
for people who, well, but then you have to play the game to get the loot boxes. I don't know. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on with Heroes of the
Like
Storm, but it doesn't hurt the game.
works. Like
But
How Brawlhalla works. They have a store where you can buy the heroes and the skins and whatever. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on with loot
that's
boxes. It's a big old thing.
yeah. Currently, Hawaii is the only one to have any sort of legislation discussing it.
But there are a
With
couple
more to
other
come
states chatting
in the
about it.
works. Yeah.
Anyway,
So last night, I guess, at the Olympics, also at D23, they dropped a sneak peek of Incredibles 2.
oh, okay. I didn't know where you were going with that story. I was just like, what is this
Yeah, they
what? Yeah, no.
they basically dropped a trailer last night during the Olympics for Incredibles 2, and basically yeah, the story pretty much picks up 2 seconds after the first one ended.
Hmm.
The Underminers there, they're still superheroes are still banned, but maybe there's someone who's gonna try to fix that. And then Elastigirl is the hero that they want, so they put all their time and focus into Elastigirl. So Mr. Incredible has to stay home and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And Jack, with his developing super abilities, is very interesting
Let's just be honest. It's
and
hilarious.
trying.
If you
Yeah,
haven't seen the trailer yet, it's pretty great.
go watch a trailer. Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is back as Frozone. I think they got all the
Mhm.
original voice actors back, although
All
obviously
the
10
original
years
voice
later,
actors except for the kids.
oh, they changed the kids.
Well, I think they changed Dash, and I think the only change was Dash. They might still have the same voice actress for
Okay.
Violet.
I mean, that makes sense because the kid who played Dash probably no longer sounds like Dash. I mean, he does, but it would be a much deeper voice than what you were expecting from Dash if they had the same kid. His voice did sound
Yeah,
different. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, Samuel Jackson is back. Where is my super suit? And Edna Mode has returned.
Edna Mode.
That's all
My
I
God,
really
you've
wanted from
gotten fat.
Incredibles 2. More Edna Mode.
My
With
God, you've
with the
gotten.
most cutting words. Paddington done right is a heroic act of its own. Parenting done right. Just like ripping into Mr. Incredible. Oh my
Hmm.
god, it was amazing. It was beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a tiny bit disappointed that there wasn't a time jump and it's literally 2 seconds after.
It's a little
But
weird just because it has been 10 years and most of the I think it's kind of like a precedent setting thing. Most of the time, whenever they decide to make like a new installment of a series that's been like out of commission for a while, I think that they generally tend to put in a time jump. And so for The Incredibles just be like, nope, we're picking up right where we left off. We're like, what?
yeah, so I mean, I'm hype either way. But I would have liked where superheroes were already back, you know.
Yeah,
But
but I
this will be an
think,
interesting story anyways, because they're trying to
yeah.
bring superheroes back. So that'll be an interesting story.
And I think that that's really what makes it like interesting because if you jumped ahead to a time when superheroes were already back, then like what's your plot line? Like is it just the classic, oh, there's a villain and we have to defeat him? Because that's like every superhero movie.
Well,
But if you're
yeah,
telling a
but
story of we're trying to bring, all right, like we've done stuff, people appreciate us. Now we want to bring superheroes back into the spotlight. How do we go about that?
yeah,
And I think that that's an interesting story to tell. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
I agree. And speaking of interesting stories, Disney and Marvel and Star Wars are, the Disney Marvel comics are the Star Wars Marvel comics words are doing another spin-off series, another short miniseries spin-off focusing on Thrawn. Their previous miniseries have included, but not limited to, Mace Windu, Leia, Han, Chewie, Lando. There was a one shot for DJ. Ugh, I still haven't read it. I
For
own it, but I
who?
haven't read it yet. For DJ from Last Jedi.
Who
Benicio
is
del Toro.
DJ?
Benicio del Toro.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Benicio del Toro's character got a one shot. But yeah, so they're gonna be focusing on Thrawn, who is literally popular because he's like the evil Sherlock Holmes Moriarty type character that foils literally all of the rebellion's plans ever in Star Wars. Like anytime the Empire had any sort of a victory, you can bet Thrawn was at the helm of it. Um,
And it was always like
Thrawn,
some minutia thing too. It was
yeah,
always just like,
like he
yes, because of
studies
this
like
culture, I knew that they would want to do a sunrise ceremony at this time, which is the perfect time for us to sneak around behind and attack. Like
exactly,
something
yeah.
ridiculous.
He basically focuses on like the like Janky said, the minutia of every character. Like he was able to take down and like her people's culture and something that was like an heirloom of her mother's or something. Um, but anyway, so yeah, he's gonna get a series. I don't know quite. I believe it's going to be his like how he came into the Empire. Um, so yeah, it'll be an interesting story. It's out on shelves now. I've yet to go to the comic book shop to get it because I'm always, but I'm eager to see, where the character came from. I mean, there are already, Timothy Zahn created the character years ago. And there have been Thrawn books before, but the main reason people are gravitating towards Thrawn is not just because he's a cool character, but he's also one of the few elements of the expanded universe books being brought into the main canon, the newly accepted Disney canon.
Right, right.
So,
Could you imagine
yeah.
if he was in the last movie?
Oh, I don't think he would have lived that long. But then again, I don't know how long Chiss, I believe they're called Chiss. Uh, I don't know how long they live, so
Look,
it
he's
could be interesting.
he's an 80-year-old space beekeeper now. But he
80-year-old
comes
space
back.
beekeeper.
They're just like, Thrawn, we need you. And in an interesting twist, Leia's the one who asks him for help. I solved the plot. I solved the plot of the next movie, guys. Nailed
Yep,
it.
nailed it,
Nailed it.
nailed it.
All right. Well, wow. We got through everything pretty quick today.
Yeah.
Um, so we have two discussion topics, one of which I wanted to bring up, and it's not on the list, so sorry. But something that gets talked about because we're Olympic time, which is should esports become an Olympic sport? Because this is something that I've heard people talk about before, and people kind of go back and forth on. And I don't think the Olympic Committee is super duper open to it because they're just like, it's an esport. You play it on a computer. Where's the skill?
Yeah. I would say, well, let me put it to you this way. Legit ancient Greek Olympics used to include theater.
Did it really? I did not know that.
Yes. You didn't know that and you were a theater student here?
I didn't take history of theater. Now, just to
Oh,
be
well,
clear,
yeah.
was it a competition that you could win, or was it like, this is what
Yeah,
happens in between
legitimately.
sport?
Like
And
like
it was like a festival that they held at the same time as the Olympics, or it was actually like, hey, we're
yeah.
having an Olympic
No, it
play
was held
festival.
at the same time of the Olympics. Yeah, Sophocles, the guy who wrote the Oedipus trilogy. Literally, the structure of it used to be that you were a writer, you wrote a trilogy of plays.
And a satyr
Um,
play. Yeah.
well, that was one of the three. Yeah. Basically,
Well,
you
no,
wrote.
no, no. It was usually okay. Sorry, we're about to have an argument about theater nerd stuff. But no, normally it was three plays revolving around a theme, and then you had a satyr play, which was a shorter
Oh,
play.
right.
That
Yeah.
was just
Mhm.
supposed to be like almost comical and sort of off to the side. And then later, a few people changed it up and made a tetralogy instead of a trilogy in a satyr play.
Yeah. So no, yes. Okay, I forgot about how the satyr play worked in. But yeah, so it used to be this thing where you would write your trilogy and your satyr play, you would enter it into the Olympics, and you would perform theater all day, every day, for as long as the Olympics lasted or as long as the shows did. And these shows would last way into the night. People would just come. It would be a day-long thing. You would
Yeah.
just come, you would sit down, you'd start with Oedipus the King and leave out on Oedipus and Colossus. Or no, the Oedipus trilogy.
Oedipus
Electra?
in yeah, I can't think of what the last one. No, no, it is an Oedipus play. It's
Yeah.
Oedipus Rex followed by Antigone, um,
Antigone.
followed by
Antigone
Oedipus
by
at wherever it was.
Colossus. Yeah,
Uh,
Oedipus and Colossus.
okay.
So yeah, so theater used to be an Olympic sport years and years and years and years ago. So I don't see why, if theater was once an Olympic sport, why number one it couldn't come back, and number two, why esports wouldn't be a thing. They don't even have to include it in the Winter or Summer Olympics. It could be its own Olympic thing. We could have like
I think you'd be
We
hard
could
pressed
have.
to convince them to have a third Olympics just for esports. But I do think that you
Well, I was
could
gonna say it
potentially
could be a
include it.
springtime event. Yeah, I was gonna say it could be a springtime event. Just every other odd year that an Olympics isn't happening, because there's more downtime from the Olympics than not. And yeah, you could totally have an esports Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't think they'd be willing to add a third Olympic event in there. For the longest time, the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics were the same thing
Yeah.
until eventually they split those up in, like, I want to say the 80s, 90s. I don't know. It wasn't really that long ago that they split the two. Um, or maybe I'm lying and it actually happened a while ago. I don't know. I don't know the Olympics. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I'm trying to remember like the Olympic Committee's arguments against it, which I think mostly revolved around the idea of
It's a
um
video game.
yeah, basically like it's a video game and these athletes train hard and hone their bodies and they're the
Do
top
they
of the
really?
class. What are you talking about? Are you talking about esports or are you talking about Olympians? Because I'm talking
I'm
about
talking about Olympians because of all the doping scandals that have been out recently.
wait. Hold on though. Hold on. Russia does what Russia does, sure. But most Olympians, we
Okay,
we
when they
cannot
had to go
generalize about most
five
Olympians.
when they had to go 5 people backwards from the one swim year just to find someone who didn't dope.
Who did that?
It
Okay, thank you,
was I
Mary.
don't
I was super wrong. They started in 1920. Wait, hold on.
yeah.
The Winter Olympics, like as an event itself, or the Winter Olympics as a separate thing from the Summer Games? Because they may have started the Winter Olympics in 1924, but I don't think they split the two into like these aren't going to be the same year until later. Um. Anyway, sorry. Who did that?
I don't remember. I'm trying to look it up. But yeah, there's always doping scandals with the Olympics. Everybody finds a way to cheat. Everybody finds a way to get the edge, and there's no real competition in being better than your competitor. It's being better than your competitor on drugs. So the Olympics can't really talk about skill. The Olympic Committee can't really talk about skill anymore.
Wait, hold on. I gotta pull you back from the abyss here. Like, you are committing a lot of logical fallacies in your argument right now.
I
You are
probably am.
you're committing a gross amount of generalization about Olympic athletes and how hard they work. I was gonna go the direction of esports team members. I would argue work as hard as Olympians. Maybe not in terms of like conditioning, but in terms of practice and skill, I think they put in just as much time as
And
most
I agree.
Olympians do. Yeah, but you're also saying you were like bringing
Yeah, I'm also
Olympians
saying.
down. You were just like they dope, so that takes them down like 50 notches. I
Well, I'm not
yeah.
saying all Olympics. Okay, the way I said like a sweeping generalization, saying that all Olympians dope. Not all Olympians dope, but it turns out more not than the winners. Not and again, not all the winners, but the winners that it's hard because like I was saying, it's no longer a competition to push yourself to be the best. It's to push yourself to be the best to beat a competitor who might be on drugs.
Right, yeah.
So the Olympics, have a lot to focus on in that aspect.
Hold on. I gotta take a pause. You man, y'all lying to me. The Winter and Summer Olympics didn't split from the same year until 1992. Until 1992, the Winter and Summer Olympics were held in the same years.
Why always lying?
Trying to convince me that they were in separate years in 1924. Well, I mean, yeah, it's always been in different seasons because obviously you can't held the Winter and Summer Olympics at the same time, but they always used to be held in the same year until later. And I think they always used
Yeah.
to be held in the same cities, which is why it was like a year-long thing to host the Olympics because you had to host the Winter and Summer Olympics. I could be lying about that though. Anyway,
Fact check. Anyways, no, but yeah. So I would say I agree that esports people work just as hard in their focus and their dedication to their ability as like someone who's conditioning their body for like track and field or professional skating or bobsledding.
hmm
Don't even get me started on the luge, but
why?
it's gonna go into an old Robin Williams bit, but it's
Okay.
best safe for another time off camera. But yeah, but yeah, like I think the Olympics need to open up to the because really does because in this world of millennials are killing this, that, or the other, aren't we killing the Olympics? Are we even watching that as a general sweeping generalization? Are millennials even watching the Olympics? I mean,
Well,
I didn't, and
yeah.
it's not
I mean, to be
it's just I
fair,
didn't have the time to.
well, I don't think that anyone like religiously watches the Olympics, right? I mean, I'm sure there are people who do it. I feel like that's mostly like the family of the Olympians. And
Well,
also
yeah,
like but
but here's the thing: in the past, it used to be an event. Everybody gathered around and watched the Olympics and cheered on their team, cheered on their country,
yeah,
and
but wait,
and
hold
so
on.
it
There
used to
there
be a
is
bigger thing in the past, and now it's just kind of going by the wayside.
that's true. Yuri on Ice has got all the millennials watching ice skating. But
That is true.
I guess here's the thing is you have to remember you couldn't watch the Olympics from home until the 50s, and the Olympic Games are older than that. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily it's like we're used to watching on the television, but that also didn't always used to be a thing. So I would say that the millennials might be going more back toward just not watching it on television. And it's not like, maybe you see it on Twitter and maybe you cheer on your team. It's not like the millennials aren't cheering on Team USA. It's just more of well, let's be honest, I feel like millennials just get more involved in their own stuff. So,
Yeah.
but that's not to say that the millennials don't cheer on Team USA. It's just, it's like, you know, it's like ice skating. Like we care about ice skating for reasons.
Yeah.
And if it's
For a
something that
reason.
you're interested
Those
in,
reasons might be attached to an anime, but
like if you enjoy snowboarding, then maybe you'll watch the snowboarding and you'll cheer on Shaun White and the rest of our snowboarding team. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who they are, but like it's a matter of what you're interested in and what you want to cheer on. I think that being said, I actually, you know what? I do know one of the other people on the snowboarding team because he's from Ohio. He's from around here. He trained at Boston Mills and he won gold. And he is the youngest person to win gold in a snowboarding event. He's
woo.
like 15, 16, and he won gold at the Olympics, which
Was
is
he
pretty
the kid
impressive.
that woke up late, said fuck on TV, and then won gold?
Maybe. I don't know. I just know that he's from here and he won gold.
Because there was that article circulating that it was like, teen Olympian woke up late, said fuck on TV, and then went on to win gold or something like that. And it's like,
Great. First of all, why do we care that he said that on TV?
because it's live TV and you're not allowed to say that on live TV.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's the FCC. Look, no one
Yeah, fuck the
censors you in
FCC.
life. No one censors you in life for saying swear words. And you know what? He's at the Olympics. He's feeling pressured. So, yeah, sometimes he might swear.
Yeah,
And if they don't
fuck
have
the
enough
FCC.
time in the delay to bleep it out or whatever it is they need to do, that's on them. He's living
Yep,
life. Good for him.
yep. Anyways, so esports in the Olympics, I think they should. I think the Olympic Committee is just a bunch of stuck up old people.
I mean, they are. They're all like stuck up French and Swedish and uh, Swiss. Swiss? I feel like a lot of them are Swiss. Anyway,
For the last time, I'm Swedish.
the point is that a lot of them are just, I don't know. It's always a fight, right? It's just always a fight
Yeah.
to get people to acknowledge something new.
Hmm.
It's like I was watching a show the other day. It's called The Chef's Table. It's on Netflix. It's about like the lives of famous chefs. And the first episode was about this Italian chef who he he's like a he's like a three Michelin star chef now. Um but his thing was he would take old dishes from like his grandma's kitchen and he would reinvent them. Not necessarily like super changing the recipe, but he would change like the presentation. He's kind of like one of those chefs who thinks about the artistry of it also in addition to like making the thing. But like he served tortellini, he served like six in a line and like the broth around them. And so the people who live there, who are apparently used to having like 10 tortellinis a spoonful, were just like, what the hell is this? Almost shut down his restaurant until like food critics came and liked it. And now the people are just like, yeah, he's the best chef we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's kind of related. Look, I'm just saying, whenever people get set in a certain way, they don't like that way being changed. You know?
No, yeah, I totally get that. I mean, look at Alistair and Hotspur. My way of doing things is being changed.
Yeah. This is not the time for that discussion. Although, if we ever do a live stream of D&D on Twitch, which would be totally fun, we
Totally
can have
awesome.
discussions like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's going to be a discussion
for later.
for another time. But yeah.
Speaking of discussion, do we want to talk about the other topic or?
Yeah, we can. You
All
still got
right.
a little bit of time, right?
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes.
All right. Play us in, Johnny.
Do most obscurely hidden secrets in video games get discovered organically? I'm gonna say a wide sweeping no.
I disagree.
Because let me just tell you from my perspective. Like,
Okay.
when I was playing the Uncharted franchise, all of it, uh, I only found the treasures that legitimately were in my way or that I could see glinting off to the side.
Yeah.
I did not go out of my way to find all of them.
Right.
Because I wouldn't even know where to look in half the levels. Because, the level starting and it's a chase, and then it's a this, it's a that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no way for me to like separate myself to be like, okay, I'm going to ignore all of the visceral things that are happening before me and look for the minutia in the background.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, because I'm that guy that buys a game guide with my game. But I will play the game first without the game guide. I will have the game guide just to look nice on my bookshelf. But
Mm-hmm.
when I'm going back and I decide, okay, I'm going to 100% everything, then I crack it out. Um, but and also to save from the embarrassment of being stuck in a room for 2 years, not realizing that to progress the story you need to walk outside. But anyways, so yeah, because because with Star Wars Lego the Force Awakens,
Yeah.
um, that took me a while to say. I that is the only game I have a platinum trophy on PlayStation Network. Actually, no, false. I take that back. I also have a platinum trophy for Sly Cooper 1. Um, but I have that was the only other game that I've 100%ed completely in its entirety. Got all the trophies, did all the things. Um, and not gonna lie, some of that came with buying like the season pass or digital downloads or things of that nature. But buying the season pass bought the digital downloads. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Hey Terry, but so basically, for me, um, like with Star Wars Force Awakens. Some of them I came across completely by accident. Others I kind of had to sit there and actually recreate the scenario. But reading it was just like, oh yeah, how could I not think of that? Like one of them was uh, an award is Show Me the Way, Grandfather, and that's if you play as Darth Vader and Kylo Ren in the same moment, or if you kill Han Solo with Kylo Ren in free play, or things of that nature. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure those things would come up eventually, but trying to find them just naturally would take time.
I would
And
like
I
to
feel
point
like,
out. Okay. I would like to point out that I feel like you're mixing. Wait, hold on. Did you say this was in Lego? The you have to play Darth Vader and Kylo Ren at the same time?
yes,
Okay. Was that a PlayStation achievement or was that a Lego achievement?
uh, it was a PlayStation achievement, but I think it's also like an Xbox achievement.
Okay, but I think that
Because I think
this is where
nowadays
you get
Xbox
to
and PlayStation share trophies and achievements
sure.
for
But I
the
think
most
this
part.
is where you get to mixing the streams, right? Which you shouldn't do. That's what Ghostbusters taught us. Except for that one dire
Except for that
situation.
one time, except for those two times that they did.
Yes.
Hmm.
Xbox and PlayStation achievements, I do not consider video game secrets. I think that those
Okay.
are things that PlayStation's just throwing out there to be like, oh, and then if you do this random thing, you get an achievement for that.
Uh,
Which, like, I don't consider to be a video game secret. The things that I consider to be video game secrets, and what, from my perspective, I think this question is asking, which is stuff that the developer has intentionally hidden in the game and wants the gamer to find. So going back to what you said before, I am the opposite of you, which is I don't really care what else is going on. I want to explore and find all the secret little nooks and crannies and figure out like all the extra things. So I am the kind of person who will spend more time going through a game so that I can find all the little bits and pieces as I go. And then
right.
I will only look up an answer if it is something that it's like one of the last things I have to do and I am just completely and utterly stuck on it and I do not understand like what they want you to do to like find the secret. That's when I will look up an answer. But most of the time I much prefer to like figure it out on my own and solve the puzzle on my own
Absolutely.
and explore it on my own. But that brings me back around to what I was going to say, which is I think that most secrets do get discovered organically because someone has to write the guides and someone has to write the internet walkthroughs. And like you have to have those people there. Like I have
Hmm.
played a lot of games since starting YouTube and Twitch where I am one of the first people to play that game. And so a lot of the secrets that I find and discover are secrets that I couldn't look up on the internet even if I wanted to because no one
Right.
has made anything for it yet. And so like I have to explore and I have to find those things and I do discover them organically because like that's just who I am as a gamer. Now, I will say that there are people who might do like data mining, you know? Like people who data mine and they're like, "Oh, look, I found this hidden thing over in this side." And I think that that's maybe like the one I don't want to say excuse. I feel like that's the
Yeah.
one example where it's like people haven't even got their hands on the game yet and they already know where something is because someone dug into the code and found it.
Yeah.
But also, I don't like follow data miners and I don't really care about data mining because I'm just like I would much rather enjoy it on my own as I experience it than know like what you found in the code.
Yeah. And I get that. I totally get that. And I agree with that. But at the same time, like and the thing is with trophies and and achievements is some of the times developers will be like, put this hidden thing in a game, and if you find it, it'll give you like a PlayStation achievement or a trophy, which is the only reason
Sure.
I gravitated towards those. But yeah, so okay, so maybe not a general no, but I'd say a 60-40 split in favor of not.
I will say I don't think that everyone is like me. And I do think that a
Hmm.
lot of people out there would prefer to use a guide or a walkthrough to find all the hidden stuff than actually seek it out for themselves.
Yeah.
That's fair. But there have to like you have to have those people who are willing to put in that time and do that so that they
Yeah.
can tell other people, "Hey, this is what you got to do."
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coolio. Well, I know
Coolio.
that you have a rehearsal to get to soon, so
Yeah.
I say let's close on out. Joe will be
Absolutely.
back
Next week.
next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, actually, we may be moving the podcast just for all y'alls who may be regular viewers out there or who may want to come back and view more of the podcast. We may be moving it to Wednesday. I'll try to make sure to have that on Twitter if we do. That's only because Joe has said that he is definitely off in the afternoon on Wednesdays. So
The only problem with me is rehearsal.
yes, but that doesn't matter. Like every day you have rehearsals, so
Yeah.
it becomes a non-issue about what day we do it. So the
Yeah.
podcast may be moving to Wednesdays. Noah, is there anything that you want to share before we close out?
Yeah, we recorded a random skit last night. It's going to come out next Wednesday. I know I wanted it to come out for Valentine's Day, but that didn't happen. We got Spyro the Dragon on my channel, regardless of whether or not there's an HD remake or not. Dive into the Hearts podcast comes out this Saturday, where we'll definitely in depth talk about all the Kingdom Hearts 3 news that came out earlier in the week. And yeah, we're going to wind down that Kingdom Hearts series. Tom's got his stuff. Yeah, so come check out our stuff.
Cool, awesome. As for me, I'm trying to think if there's anything really exciting going on. Tomorrow, of course, we'll be streaming again, playing something multiplayer. Um, I'm not sure what yet. Probably some Overwatch because that's what we've been playing. Although there are some
Yeah.
really awesome multiplayer games coming out that people have been emailing me about that I would really like to also play on Friday because that's when we do multiplayer stuff. So there's that to look forward to. And then Saturday, we will be playing Fee. I can tell you that right
Fee.
now because I am super hyped for that game. It'll be coming out tomorrow, actually. That's right, it'll be coming out tomorrow. Never mind, we might not be doing multiplayer games tomorrow, guys. We may just be hopping right into Fee because I am so jazzed about that game. I can't even express, and that's definitely what we'll be doing is playing Fee
Yeah.
for Friday, Saturday, Tuesday. Like that will take up the week, except for the Pop Culture podcast, which will
Yep.
not be that. And as for the channel, on YouTube's. You can, of course, catch all of the old VODs of the streams there. And then also, you can catch Hanging with Janky every weekend on Sundays, except when I fall asleep and forget to edit it, in which case it comes out on Mondays. Because that happens sometimes. But we're quickly
It do.
approaching the the hundredth, the hundredth
The
episode.
100th.
So I'm very excited for that.
Welcome to the 100th episode of the 100th games.
Yes, exactly. Anyway,
Yes.
Scritches for the kitten.
Scritches for Scritches a
Culture.
Kitten.
Thank you all for joining us for another Pop Culture podcast. If you happen to miss part of it, or if you're catching this on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us there. Hope you have a lovely day, evening, whenever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, this is us signing out.
I'm a cat boy.
Sure. Yes. Yes, friend, you're a cat boy.